How you doing again, guys? It's Bobby here, independent transport broker. And somebody asked me a while back that if I was going to give owner operator advice, what would that be? Now, I have been a truck driver for over 15 years. I've been an owner operator for 10 years, and I've been a transport broker for over 10 years. And what my experience have taught me was because I deal with a lot of owner operators from all walks of life, my best advice would to give any new individual that's thinking about getting into the game or want to get into the game is the best way is to get your foot wet, right? Because not a lot of owner operators have, previously been drivers, right? And that's pretty much what I'm here to talk about. That to come in this business, I would say the best thing to do is become a driver, work for a company, get your foot wet, and by working for a company and driving a truck, you can see all all the roadblocks and all the stuff that can happen, and that can give you a more clearer picture of what it takes to become an owner operator. That it's not about just buying a truck and putting a truck on the road. It's about putting yourself in a position that you're putting yourself in a position to win, because at least you know that with a truck, if you're running that truck consistently, you're looking at buying fuel every other day, right? Like if you're driving a 5-ton truck or even a tractor, depending on the amount of work that you're going to do, right? And those costs in fuel, you're looking at about sometime over $100, $200, depending, like I said, the volume of work you're going to be doing and the amount of driving that you're going to be doing, right? So when you're a driver, it gives you a bird's eye view of all the stuff that you need to look out for when you become an owner operator. The good part of that is when you're working for a company, you're not incurring all the expenses. You're not paying for repair, you're not making monthly payments, and you're not paying the fuel. But at least when you're a driver doing all that, you see a lot of what goes into owning your own vehicle and running your own vehicle, right? And that can make you make a decision more from a place of knowledge. You're more comfortable because you've been in this situation before, you've been a driver, and you see all the stuff that can happen, right? And that's the best way that you can make a decision, because now you're making a decision from a place of knowledge and not a place of I want to make money and I want to make a lot of money. You're making a decision because you know all that's involved in owning your own truck, putting your own truck on the road. So my advice to new owner operators that are thinking about getting into the game, if you've never driven a truck before, go work for a company. You don't have to work for the company for a long period of time. You could be 6 months, a year, but at least you get your foot wet. You know what you're getting into because you've done it before. Instead of just going from one career and just jumping into this business and say, okay, let's see how this works, right? Because normally that's not a very good decision to make, because let's see how this works can cost you a lot of money because you're not knowing what you get into. So my advice is for new owner operators coming into the business, work for a company, get your foot wet, figure out what are some of the things that you need to know and all the stuff that you need to figure out before you decide to put a truck on the road, right? So that's the advice I got to give you for new owner operators. Get your foot wet, see what the industry is like, and then at that point you can decide whether it's something that you want to do. Okay, so until next time, take care, be safe, get started.